this program brought to you by myindiana529.com. Some 16 years ago, I'm in a hospital. My wife's there. And all of a sudden we had this new thing. It's a new child. And we're thinking, okay, well, this will be fun. Because an hour earlier, I set up a 529 account for this new person in our life. And let me tell you, after 16 years of saving, college not only feels possible, but bearable for our family. So whether you have a little one in your life or your little one is now loud and smelly, go to myindiana529.com, start an account. You could do it for as little as $10. I'll tell you, there's two reasons you want to do it this time of year. Number one, there's tax implications, positive tax implications for Indiana tax filers, up to $1,500 a year in tax credits. Number two is, hey, Aunt Margaret gives terrible gifts. You don't need a triple knit sweater for little Tyler, but you do need a contribution to his Indiana 529 savings plan. So go to my Indiana 529 plan, or pardon me, myindiana529.com today. Get your plans going. It's what I do. It's what I swear by, even though I don't swear on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could buy the rights to Return of the Mac and play it on the air without royalty concerns, I would do so. Alas, ladies and gentlemen, Damian Dunn.
Spangle's got pockets. He can cover that. Let's go ahead and play that song.
Dame, I missed you so much.
I missed being here.
Just so you know, everybody, Dame's fine. Everything's fine. We got a lot of work here at Your Moneyline headquarters. So Dame's just taking over for the team last couple of weeks and grinding through and helping the people we serve every day. And so he is back.
Yeah, and hopefully that's kind of weird. I mean, you hope we're always busy, but I love this part of my job, and the more time I get to spend with my father, Pete, the better.
Dame, today feels like it's a hot take topic, and maybe people will feel that way. But ultimately, I think it's a great opportunity to talk about borrowing money. It's like more than anything, it's a way for people to understand that your goal is not to afford the payment; it's to afford the item and to make a good decision, all told. So we won't get catty or petty today. I mean, we'll have to discuss a set of facts, but I don't want people to think this is going to just be us piling on a bad idea. I mean, we are going to pile on a bad idea, but we're not going to make it about the person who publicly shared the bad idea. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And just so everybody's aware, it's just been Pete and I for a while now, and I've been busy the last couple of weeks. And so the show planning has fallen into Pete's lap. And as you would anticipate, I have very little idea of what we're talking about today. So this is going to be fun for all of us.
Oh, I love that. Oh, I didn't even send you what I put together, did I?
No.
Do you want me to send it to you real quick, or do you just want to roll?
No, let's just do it.
Have you turned into me where you'd rather not know?
Yes, at this point, yeah, I just want to go where you carry me.
Oh my gosh. Dame, so I had to jump in a car this afternoon and drive to Milwaukee for 3 days.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean? Drive to Milwaukee and then stay there.
Right.
I love my son, but man, am I sick of driving him around the Midwest.
I hear Milwaukee's beautiful this time of year.
I'm not sure it is. Did you know, because I'm doing, of course, my live stream this weekend for the parents that cannot make it to the soccer match amongst other 13-year-olds. So I do a little research on each city I go to so I can just do a little color during dull moments. Can I hit you with some Milwaukee facts?
Is it pronounced Milwaukee?
Which is Algonquin for the good land.
Tell me, what do you know?
Do you know the QWERTY typewriter was invented in Milwaukee?
Really?
Yeah. It's the birthplace of the typewriter.
What was it? We were clearly in sync. We've been off a while.
Yeah.
What was it before QWERTY?
That's a good question. I assume just alphabetical. Can you imagine alphabetical typewriter?
No, it'd be horrible.
All right, I'm on my keys right now. I want to see. I'm going to spell the word. I couldn't even do it. How do you even imagine where a P is? No one knows.
No one knows.
Also, Milwaukee fact for you, Dame. More shoreline, I should
Yeah.
say, than Miami.
Well, I mean, that has a lot to do with just how big the city proper, I'm sure, is and touches, but because Miami's a pretty darn big metro area, so but I'll buy that. I mean, there's some quirks of geography in there. I'll buy that. Interesting. Did not know.
And of course, what people most know is it's also the birthplace of Harley Davidson motorcycles.
Yes.
Vroom, vroom.
Yes.
All right, Dame, let's do the show. We made it past the 525 mark. I don't feel like there was a vacuum.
I didn't hear it.
Dame, is there a rumor that Kristen's back next week? Is this a thing?
Yeah, sure is. If everything goes to plan, it'll be the full team.
Will she bring the baby?
Highly unlikely.
The gym baby was back in the gym this morning in its little stroller.
Tell me he had a headband, was pulling some curls.
Nope. But I wanted to go talk to it, but my trainer was like, "That's weird, man. Don't." But it's like, come on, there's a gym baby. You want to talk to the gym baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Dame. Let's do the show in 3, 2, 1. This week on the Pete the Planner Show, we answer your money questions. Here's how the show works. You email us, askpete@petetheplanner.com. That's askpete@petetheplanner.com, and we will read your question on the air and possibly answer it. I said we. I'm not French, meaning yes. I meant the plural. Damian Dunn is back. Return of my son. Hello, Dame.
Hello, Pete.
The prodigal son returns, as they say.
Here I am.
Dame, sometimes people email us and then that's the topic of the show. Other times I'm at a bar and someone says, "Hey, what do you think of this?" And that's what this week's show is about, is my drinking. No, it is about, "Hey, do you see Trump's new 50-year mortgage thing?" And I said, "I did." They go, "What do you think about it?" And I said, "Oh, I have lots of thoughts." They're like, "Well, tell them to me." And I said, I shushed this man's lips. He was a big burly biker with a beard. And I reached out and I crossed his lips with my finger and I said, "You're going to have to listen to the podcast." So anyway, this episode is a 50-year mortgage. Why is this the worst idea that humanity has ever invented? Dame, as we talk about this today, the goal is to talk about how dumb the idea is. The goal is not to bash the person who had the idea. How's that?
I think that's fair.
Okay.
Yep.
And to be fair, President Trump publicly told the idea, but it was, I believe, the head of HUD, Bill Pulte, I think his name is. The idea came from him. Okay.
Honestly, I've heard this idea floated well before it's been brought up here, but it's the first time I think it's really gotten some major press behind it.
Okay, so a 50-year mortgage. Dame, what problem is this idea trying to solve?
The affordability of housing, man. I mean, we're just trying to figure out how to get people into houses. I mean, this really affects younger people just getting out of college, getting their careers rolling, maybe starting a family, and they want to transition from that phase of life into housing. And if you think through the math, or at least what you assume the math is going to be, you think, well, if I'm paying the same amount or covering the same dollar amount, but over a longer period of time, it's going to make that monthly payment a lot cheaper. So it's going to make housing more affordable for me. And I'm going to be able to live not with people either over me or below me in an apartment complex.
So the idea, to your point, it's a cash flow solve. An attempt at a cash flow solve.
Yeah.
To make the payment more affordable. So let's draw a quick parallel here, even though it doesn't line up perfectly. Dame, let's talk about the 84-month car loan for a second here. Mm-hmm. Where can we say, oh, it's the same? And where can we say, but yeah, here's why it's different? I think with the here's why it's different, I think you have to get with the depreciating asset, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference. Of course, there's no guarantee that home prices appreciate, but I'd like to think over a long enough period of time, whether that's 15, 30, or 50 years in that discussion, that the house is going to be worth more than it was.
So I will also note Dame, what you and I do not like about an 84-month car loan is that you're paying a lot of interest.
Yeah, anytime you stretch that payment period out, the amount of interest you pay is going to go up. Even with if you had a potentially lower interest rate, which isn't probably how that's going to work, but yeah, you're going to pay way more in interest. And there's some rules of thumb that you can use when we talk about the mortgage side of things. I haven't looked at the car side so much, but you will have a lower payment. You will pay considerably more in interest.
All right, Dame. So here's what we're going to do. I'm pulling out numbers for you. Okay.
Love numbers.
Math on the radio, math on a podcast. Here's where we're going. $400,000 loan.
Okay.
$400,000 loan, which is about the loan you'd have to take to buy the average home in America today. 400,000. I'm going at 6.5%.
Okay.
Okay. Now here's the challenge with this. We don't yet know, I'm going to give you, that's a 30-year interest rate, 6.5%.
Sure.
We don't yet know if you did a 50-year loan, how much that would impact the rate down. For instance, oftentimes a 10-year loan is the same rate as a 15-year loan. I doubt a 50-year mortgage rate would be the exact same as a 30-year interest rate, but I think it's not going to be substantially less. What do you think?
You think a 50-year would be less?
The interest rate?
Yeah.
You know what? Now that no, it's actually going to be more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Boy, that fell apart quickly. All right. So 30-year, 6.5%. That's fun. Long week. Principal and interest payment on a $400,000 loan over 30 years at 6.5% is $2,528. $2,500, Dame.
Okay.
$2,500. Now, if I were to stretch that to a 50-year loan and keep the same interest rate, which is unlikely. To your point, it's probably going to go up. What's the spread usually on a 15 to 30? Is it like 75 basis points?
That's a really good question. I don't know if there's a rule of thumb that they play by for spreads between those two, but you could probably consider that. I don't know if it would be quite as great between a 30 and a 50, though.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, so 50-year, $2,272. So if you round up, Dame, it's $2,300. It's a savings, actually, of $256 a month. So let's live in this cash flow positivity here for a moment. Dame, does making the cash flow positive by $256 a month, does that help people?
I mean, it could if you've got student loans that you're trying to pay off or anything where you're going to use that $250 in a positive way to either bolster your immediate short-term financial stability or maybe even get a jump start on your long-term. I will say it absolutely could help you, but I'm betting that a lot of people, when they hear, a 50-year mortgage versus a 30, they're thinking they're going to have a lot more than 10% difference between those two payments.
Here's the other issue with this. We just took the average home price. We're not getting weird with it. We just took the average home price. If a person can't afford housing, it means they probably can't afford the average home price. So let's talk about the price of the home, not the payment.
Yeah,
right? So I think that's where this falls apart almost immediately. And then you get to, okay, well, fine. I'm going to find half the price of a $200,000. Somehow, some way, I'm going to find a $200,000 home that I otherwise could not afford if it was a 30-year payment. And then you put the 50-year payment to that, Dame, it's even less of a cash flow savings.
Sure. Yeah. Cash percentage is probably close, but cash, you're saving even less on a cash basis. Yeah.
I mean, I could run the math, but you would argue it'd probably be half. You're saving like $128. I don't think that makes home ownership affordable, because what you and I both know is another element to this whole thing is a down payment and an emergency fund.
Yeah.
Okay. So we haven't even gone into why this is a terrible idea. We are just at the positives, and the positives are it increases cash flow by a nominal amount of money.
Yeah.
When we come back, I will unleash the fury of disaster on this thing. Dave, here's the thing. I love the intent. I love the intent of let's make housing more affordable.
Mm-hmm.
The wild part, which people are about to learn now, is if we did this, we would make housing less affordable.
Yeah.
So that's the next few segments. Glad to have Damian Dunn back on the show this week after a 2-week sabbatical. He now knows German. Coming up after the break, why a 50-year mortgage makes the housing problem worse. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is the Pete the Planner Show. This portion of the program brought to you by Herculean Meals. You know, after this show, I've got a day full of meetings, but I also know that my freezer in my office is filled with currently, right now, just looked this morning, 6 different Herculean prepared meals. I can have shrimp with lemon risotto for lunch, Dame. I can have cowboy burger bowl. I can have broccoli and chicken bake. I can have buffalo mac and cheese with chicken, and that's what I'm going to have. Why do I do this? Literally every day of my life, other than Sundays. Why do I do this? It's because they are delicious, they are nutritious, and they help me accomplish my nutrition goals. Go to HerculeanMealPrep.com. Get them shipped to you. They're frozen. This is not where you buy fresh food and it goes bad because you get busy. They can stay good in your freezer for up to 1 American year. Yeah, an entire year. Tell them Pete the Planner sent you. They have changed my life, and I want them to change yours. Dame, this program is also, of course, brought to you today by Indiana 529 Savings Plan. If your kid is going to go to college, you know, here's the thing. I spoke at Purdue University this week, Dame.
Oh.
I spoke to a group of an entrepreneurship class about college, and it was talking about student loans and all these different things. And 100% of the kids in the class had student loans. 100%. If you do not want your child to have student loans, if you want to give them the ultimate advantage to start their careers, go to myindiana529.com and get savings. You can do it. You can get a $1,500 a year tax credit. If you play your cards right as an Indiana resident, you can make a massive difference in their life. It's what I've been using for over 16 years. myindiana529.com. Dame, we didn't get too out of control in that first segment, did we?
No, I think we were fine. But I mean, I don't want to go back.
Please do.
Anymore, but there's not a stinker in that lineup of Herculean meals you've got in your freezer.
I also have smash burger bowl. I'm pretty excited. I'm out of steak and eggs. Oh, boy. Damn, I don't want to drive to Milwaukee today. I'll tell you this. I was at a point, I was sitting down last night complaining to my wife of, I've had a very hard work. And I said, I don't want to go. And I said, okay, I got on my chat. I said, Lois, how much does it cost to charter a private jet to Milwaukee for the weekend?
Yeah.
And not that I would do it. I was just sort of like a joke, you know, you're just like, She said $15,000. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. But if I've ever been in a place mentally that I wanted to do it, it was last night and today.
I mean, you've got 3 drivers in your house, Pete.
None of them are going.
No.
Or you're saying they're the ones that should go?
Yes.
But who's going to live stream? This is not about the game. It's about my broadcast.
Technical difficulties happen, Pete.
I am a technical difficulty. Dame, a lot going on in life right now. What are you the most excited about? Like if you have a little mental space and you can think about something and daydream or feel nice, what do you like thinking about right now?
Man, holidays are just around the corner. I mean, your favorite holiday is literally what, a week and a half away at this point.
Super Bowl.
Have you even started meal planning for that? I mean, you lay out a huge spread that you do yourself every year. Have you got it planned out?
I've gotten to this really passive aggressive place where when people ask me what to bring, I'm like, just bring napkins, because I'm like, I don't want to eat what it is that you're preparing. Other than my mother-in-law brings pies, and they're delicious because she was grew up in like a Mennonite culture, and so they're delicious. Yeah. So the holidays, looking forward to that. Right now, you know what my mirage was this week? I got to catch up with our old buddy Lubs last night.
Oh, you did?
Get to go hang out with him. That was nice. That was like what I'd been looking forward to for 2 weeks. So
He took a big trip this summer out west, and I have not been able to catch up with him to hear how that went, but I am very interested.
All right, Dame, let's get back into the worst idea ever.
No offense.
You know, you did send through. I sound like my dad. You did send me a link to what is actually an interesting idea about housing, which is portable mortgages.
Yeah, and I thought about it more this morning, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around why in the world a bank would go for this and how it would change what mortgages look like, because it feels like nothing but downsides for banks on a portable mortgage.
All right, so let's get back to the show, and then we'll work in portable mortgages in 3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show, talking about the worst idea in the history of human civilization: a 50-year mortgage. It's a little aggressive. I'll just tell you, I love creative ideas to solve big problems. 100% love it. And I really appreciate that a group of people are trying to think outside the box to make housing more affordable for Americans specifically, but anyone. Dame, here's the problem. It will do the complete opposite of making housing more affordable for people over the long run. And it will make the purchase of homes significantly more expensive despite the cash flow advantages. So let's get deeper into this. Okay, Dame, on a 400,000, a little guessing game for you. On a $400,000 mortgage, 6.5%, after 10 years, how much equity do you have in the home but you're excluding appreciation? How much equity do you have in a home, a $400,000 home, after 10 years of making payments? How much would you have?
What's the term of the mortgage?
30 year.
30 year. Okay.
6.5%. How much equity have you secured?
After 10 years, probably around 25-30%.
Oh gosh, you're making me do math. I was looking for a number.
Dollars.
Okay, no, now I got to do the math, Dame. Come on. I know. You're right. You're right. I'm wrong. It is 21%. Okay.
So
it is
less than I said.
$84,000.
Okay.
After paying, okay, let's do the payment. $303,000. So you've paid 75% of the purchase price of the home over a 10-year period, and your equity increased by 20%. Okay, now, Dame, guessing game number 2. How much equity, percentage or dollars, because I'm ready, would you have after 10 years of paying for a 50-year mortgage?
10% or $40,000.
4%.
Okay.
Or $19,000. So, Dame, over that time frame, you would have paid $272,000, and you would have $19,000 of equity, and of course, market appreciation.
Yeah.
That is bad.
I have that conversation not irregularly with people that we talk to at your money line about, okay, I ask them, how long are you planning on being in this house? Because if I'm talking to a young person, we know that there's always going to be another house. They're not going to stay in that first house for very, very long. It is very rare that somebody buys a house as their first house and stays there for 15, 20 years. And I talked to him about if they get a 30-year mortgage and they're only going to be there for 5, 6, 7 years,
You're renting.
you're basically renting. You are not going to have an appreciable difference in equity at that point unless you're in a very hot real estate market where you're going to get some appreciation in the house over that time period, but you're rolling the dice on that side of things. So you make this a 50-year mortgage and people still don't change their behavior. I mean, you break even essentially at that point. I mean, it's tough to say that is it's not tough to say. It's not a great financial move.
Let me bring up an idea that we're going to put a pin in because I want to make another point first, but I do not want to forget. There are two use cases in my mind of how this goes down.
Okay.
People use it to buy their first home because they were able to slip into the affordability.
Mhm.
And then people who could afford a 30 choose to push the limits of what they can afford and buy a bigger home.
Interesting.
Okay, so we're going to talk about those later, but here's what we're talking about right now. Dame, how much interest have you paid on a 30-year mortgage of a $400,000 loan on a 6.5%?
Didn't we do 30-year mortgage already?
No, how much total interest have you paid over the 30-year mortgage?
On a $400,000 loan?
$400,000 loan, 6.5%, 30 years, total interest over 30 years.
$250,000?
$510,000.
Okay, I haven't done this for a couple of weeks, Pete. My guesser is not doing great.
Okay, well, don't guess on this one. Do you know how much interest you would pay? Well, you don't. It's a rhetorical. $400,000 mortgage on a 50-year loan, you would pay $683,000 in interest. You would buy a $400,000 home for $1 million.
Yeah.
What do you think the more likely use case is? Let's just, you and I, two bald men on the internet, just talking here. What's the most likely use case if this were a thing? Is it a person finally being able to afford a home, or is it B, people can afford a home, stretching the limits of what they can afford?
Why can't we do both?
Well, you can do both, but I'm saying, what do you think the more likely scenario?
Stretching to buy a house. Yeah.
Yes. And as you and I know, when you stretch, then you actually end up being the person that is just trying to just get in there no matter what. Property taxes and insurance go up, upkeep and maintenance go up. And if you can't do it, and if you tap out, as you probably should, within the first 10 years in the 50-year mortgage, you've just burned money.
Oh, totally. I mean, I guess on the plus side, as far as you and I are concerned, as financial professionals, there's not going to be much of a home equity loan available to them at that point.
No. Let's talk about supply and demand.
Okay.
I feel like it is at the root of how dumb this idea is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you have more buyers, then what you have is more demand, correct?
Yes.
And if you have a limited supply and more demand, Dame, what does that do to the prices?
Drives prices up.
So the issue is supply, not demand.
Yeah. I mean, basic economics class would tell you that this could be helped. I don't know about solved, but helped with additional housing availability.
We gotta have a moment of intellectual honesty here, as though we haven't the whole time. Do I have a better solution than the 50-year mortgage? Yes. Don't do a 50-year mortgage. Like that's the solution, is to not even introduce this. Do I have a solve? No, I don't have a solve for housing affordability. I don't. It's a very complicated problem. I can tell you what makes it worse: a 50-year mortgage.
Agreed.
Okay, I'm all worked up. I don't know why this one upset me so much.
What do you think about the idea of incentivizing builders to start building just spec homes? Like seriously incentivizing builders to help with the supply side of things.
I have a really hot take.
Oh,
I have a scorching hot take that feels accusatory. Not towards you, of course. Okay, if you do that, then it's going to be about getting the incentive as the builder and then the margins for the home build in general. So one way to increase your margins is to put lesser materials in the home. So you're going to have lower quality homes that break down and need more maintenance faster. And you again exacerbate the issue in an unintended way. Would you buy that?
that's I can't completely disagree with it. I could see how that could potentially play out.
Let's do this. Coming up after the break. This is the most cynical episode we've had in 15 years. The 50-year mortgage, the worst idea to happen ever. I'm Pete the Planner. This is the Pete the Planner show. Why do I care this much about this? I'm actually embarrassed because it's just so dumb.
I can just see you at the gym this morning on your knees talking to this baby about, have you heard about 50-year mortgages?
God, that baby is lazy. He just lays there.
Yeah.
Kristen did send us a picture of her baby. And I think you sent me a separate message that said, I don't think you have the guts to tell her it looks lazy.
I did do that. She sent me a couple of more recent pics this week, since she knew my week was not the best, and they helped. It was a very, very cute baby.
You know how when you talk to a baby, you talk to babies much?
No.
You know, you talk to a baby, you're like, oh, I don't know, Baba. You like get out.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Do you think when Kristen's on the show next week that and she's been doing that for like 6 weeks? How are you guys? How are you, Dame? My big boy.
I hope so.
You know, babies have got to be laying there going, what the heck's wrong with this person?
You know, what if they understand every word we're saying and they just don't remember that they understand every word we're saying?
Yeah. I think babies are like, these people are raising me. Well, what are you doing? I'm not a dog. Good time.
Yeah.
All right, Dame. Let's do more things. Dame, inside baseball, little inside baseball.
Sure.
I was writing a webinar outline this morning for an webinar we were doing for a client here in about a month. And it's Investing 101. But the audience are employees of the most heralded newspaper of all time. And so there's like this pressure that it can't be too Investing 101, that it has to actually be really, really, really good. Do you know what I mean with that pressure? You know, it's not that like other organizations don't get good content, but it's more of, I don't know. It's like reputationally, I'm like, oh my gosh.
I mean, I've got questions that probably aren't great for podcast discussion, but I'm very interested in how that outline looks.
Too. All right, let's do this. Let's go back to me getting mad.
Yes.
We'll do a positive topic next week with Chris back.
I think we have to. The economics of raising a child.
The rumor was she was going to bring the baby around here last week and then didn't, and she was going to surprise me with this baby.
Was that supposed to be last week
or 2? I don't know, but I want to meet this baby.
You do.
Yeah,
she's a cute baby.
All right, let's go. Have you met the baby?
No.
Okay. I would be so mad if you met the baby.
I mean, I don't have anything going on this weekend. I can make a quick trip over there.
3, 2, 1. Back on the Pete the Planner show. You know, here's how, Dame, hi.
Hey.
Dame, here's how we've designed the show. We want this show to be conversational and approachable. We want people to feel smarter, not dumber. We want to share what we know so that you feel like you know more and can walk around more confidently and make good financial decisions. Would you agree that is what we're trying to do here?
I feel really good about our show after you giving that description.
I feel like we accomplish that most of the times, not all the time.
Yeah, no, that is, if we had a North Star, that's probably it.
And one of the ways we do that is by not making everything so binary. We never say, well, this is good and this is bad. Because when you do that, it's incredibly reductive and it's not actually helpful, and it's literally not smart to do that, right? Because like, don't buy annuities. And it's like, then it's not helpful.
No.
They're for some people and they're not for others, right?
Correct. Yeah, everybody's financial life is a little bit different, and there are solutions that work for some people that might not work for others.
However, today our topic has me as binary as possible. I think it's the dumbest idea in the world, and it's 50-year mortgages. I like the idea in trying to make housing more affordable. This does not, and it actually ends up benefiting a few groups that are not home buyers. So,
No.
Dame, let's do a little winners and losers of 50-year mortgages. So you want to start with the losers, or do you want to start with the winners?
Can we go back and forth?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, Dame, earlier I said a $400,000 home, its total purchase price after interest is going to be $1 million. Who is the first winner in that?
That'd be the bank.
The bank. The bank. Banks are like, okay, but they still have to figure out the underwriting of these things, because Dame, most of these people who get a 50-year, you're going to be dead. You're not going to complete the mortgage.
Well, I mean, that's something else. The underwriting for a 50-year mortgage is going to be way stricter, though. It's going to take more to qualify for a 50-year mortgage, because the time horizon on that is just so long. And on the other hand, the likelihood of somebody seeing a 50-year mortgage all the way through, probably really, really small. But you know what? Bank doesn't care. They're getting paid interest up front.
There was some stat. I'm going to make up a stat. I feel like at one point in time, the average person like moved 7 times in their lifetime or something like that. Does that resonate with you?
Yeah, it seems believable.
So what will happen with a 50-year mortgage? Because you pay so much in interest early, will people not move as much? I mean, or will they move and do dumb things like roll negative equity into a car loan?
You already know the answer to this.
I
They
know.
do dumb things.
Theoretically, to your earlier point, Dame, developers could win here if they're able to keep up with demand.
I wonder if there would be a market for builders to build houses specifically intended for 50-year mortgages somehow.
Okay, can we go back to my bad materials?
Oh, no, I totally get it. I think that's what would happen. Low grade materials, and I mean, yes, all of them are inspected as they're going up, but I think those houses would go up fast.
So a couple things here. My brother-in-law is to be honest, a world-renowned architect. And I was talking to him about this once, about materials in starter homes.
Mhm.
And he said they're engineered to last the materials like 7 to 8 years in many instances. And they're often purchased on 30-year mortgages. And so if you drive, can we also have this conversation in like a really like non-judgmental way? Because what I'm about to say, if taken wrong, is going to upset people, but I'm not meaning to. You drive through a starter home neighborhood that is 12 years old. Dame, it looks 20 years old.
Yeah, totally.
Okay? You drive through a nice neighborhood that's not starter homes, the materials last. So it could be a 20-year-old neighborhood that looks theoretically brand new.
20. You could drive through a housing addition that was done in the 60s, 70s, or 80s, and the houses are still great quality and they look fine. So you're totally right.
For a very long time, you and I've talked about how I've talked about this, and I just assume you've had to listen to me flap on about it, but how home ownership and the American dream and housing affordability, while an amazingly large problem that is incredibly difficult to solve, it is one of politicians on both sides favorite things to talk about. And so I think this is a short-term political win for people who love to talk about affordable housing in America, despite the fact that the facts don't support it.
Yeah, again, on the face, if you just heard 50-year mortgage without really digging into what that entails or what that means for you and your finances, then yeah, I mean, it's a little splashy headline. So it's a quick win.
All right, loser time, which I'm well versed in. Losers, home buyers.
Yeah.
First time home buyers. Anyone trying to build equity? Anyone hoping home prices stabilize? Renters trying to enter the market. Like, it's so dumb. Can I? Okay, so you and I clearly cannot impact housing affordability. We cannot, and this
No.
doesn't. But here are 6 ideas that would theoretically make housing more affordable. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Build more starter homes.
Yes.
Okay, right?
Yeah.
Incentivize zoning reform.
Oh.
There's a lot of land, commercial land. You look at cities like Detroit, where there's just a lot of industrial areas that if they build housing, you got some opportunity there, right? Down payment assistance that doesn't distort prices. So down payment assistance, for the right sort of market of home, doesn't drive demand, but it does help get people in homes.
Yeah.
Now, this one is controversial and it will frustrate literally everyone. Increase housing density.
Oh, man.
Told you.
Yeah. I mean, okay. There are solutions and then there are good ideas. This is a potential solution. I would not consider it a good idea.
I love that you and I live on the opposite spectrum of housing density, just in reality. Like,
Yeah.
You couldn't see a neighbor if you had the Hubble, and if I sneeze, my neighbor gets wet, right? Like, it's just reality. That was a little graphic.
Yeah, it was very understandable.
How about improve supply chain for construction?
Yeah, sure. I mean, everybody would be in favor of that. I don't know how much of a driver of cost savings that would be, but I would listen.
You know what doesn't help supply chains?
What's that?
Tariffs.
I thought you were going to say government's being shut down, but I mean, tariffs work as well.
You know what I mean?
No, you're right.
That's it. I said I had 6 ideas, but the last one was so good. That's all I got. All right. Oh, Dave, last thing. There is this idea of portable mortgages.
Yeah.
The portable mortgage allows a borrower to transfer their existing mortgage and mortgage rate to a new property when they move instead of taking out a brand new loan.
Yep.
So again, I always talk about my 2.5% mortgage and I never want to get rid of it. It would allow me to move and keep my rate. That is an interesting concept, but it could backfire because it could disrupt the engine powering the U.S. housing market, which is mortgage-backed securities. The whole thing falls apart. I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
Coming up after the break, biggest waste of money of the week and the news right here on the Pete the Planner Show. I'm Pete the Planner. Boy, were you and I wrong. Well, I'll own it, but you can jump in to own it if you want. We were wrong about the shutdown.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't remember what my last guess was on the show.
After Thanksgiving, I think.
I think you're right. I think it was after Thanksgiving. I was going to say 1st of December, but that's also after Thanksgiving. So yeah, we were wrong. I'm happy to be wrong in that instance.
Too, man. I'll say this, having flown a lot in the last 3 weeks, I am honestly shocked by the demeanor and the attitude and the culture of the TSA agents that I came across. Not one of them looked disenfranchised or angry. Like it was shocking, dude. I gotta be honest with you. Like I fully accepted that it would be the reality and it would be okay if they're that way. Like,
Sure.
but they were just as friendly as though they just got a bonus. It was really, really encouraging.
I will. Mrs. Advice did a little bit of traveling recently too. I'll have to ask her if that was the same experience that she had.
And that is okay. So against 4 different airports, and each time it was like they just gotten a pep talk from Oprah. You know.
Yeah, it was this all 3 airports, same ones every out and back. So, but yeah, I'll be interested to see what she says.
She flying privately to Milwaukee.
No, but I did ask her if the potential delays were enough to let her permit me to get a pilot's license and then just start flying us around the
Can you
country.
please not get a pilot's license?
I mean, why you got to step on a guy's dreams?
Okay, wait. She doesn't listen to the show, right?
Occasionally. I mean, she probably she might be right now, but if she is, she's gonna side with you on this.
Oh, well, I don't want to make a case against you.
Sorry, Pete, she does not need your help to make a case.
I do have a friend. And we all have several friends that have pilot's licenses and enjoy it. It's just like, Dame, just leave it to Delta. You know what I mean?
What if I want to quit and become a Delta pilot? Then would you say the same thing if I was flying my own
No,
little
you can do it.
Pilot Jeremy and I just cruised in the skies?
Gosh, I want to run into him so bad. Every time I'm at a Delta gate, I'm just like, "Are you Pilot Jeremy?" And this lady's like, "No, I'm Barb." I'm like, "Oh, that's weird." I did not feel like doing the show today. I was so exhausted, slept terrible, and I actually feel okay about the show. I think I needed the negative topic to draw me in.
Just get it all out of your system, get engaged, and then next week when Kristen's back, we'll be smooth sailing.
And that baby of hers. She's not bringing the baby on the air.
No, I'd be shocked. I'm pretty sure she very clearly told us that would not happen.
Here's what I'd like though. If she had like the baby being like off to the side and lazy, and then you could like hear the baby.
Cute baby sounds.
And we could
baby. Yeah.
Okay.
Have you taken that picture and run it through the thing that generates the images for each of the episodes? You could just have Kristen and the baby in the next one.
I thought about it, but I feel bad about like creating an image of her baby for the internet because she's so sensitive to that.
Say like she's holding it, so you see the back of the head. So you don't see any like. There's no, I don't know. Make it. I don't know.
I think pushing my luck with a recently pregnant woman seems like a really bad idea.
That's probably fair.
Okay. This biggest waste of money of the week is outstanding. Okay. 3, 2, 1. This week's biggest waste of money of the week right here on the Pete the Planner show is I got to pronounce it. Italjet Roadster 400 scooter. Let's say that again. The Italjet Roadster 400 scooter. Blurring the lines between scooter and motorcycle.
Time out.
Yeah.
When I hear scooter, which sounds kind of cool, I just think moped.
Totally.
Yeah. Which is so less cool.
Yeah.
Have the e-bikes hit Northern Indiana yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's not quite as many as you'd see like in Fort Wayne, but there are some around town for sure.
They're just all mopeds.
Kinda.
Yeah. Anyway, drawing inspiration from fighter jets, the functional side cooling ducts resemble turbine intakes while funneling air to the twin radiators for the 394cc 41.5 horsepower engine. 41 horsepower, too.
Did you say it's a 350cc engine?
394cc. Is that big?
So it's a 400cc. It is not small. Just for comparison purposes, the mopeds that you're referring to?
Yeah.
49cc.
Okay, well, what's 41 horsepower doesn't seem like a lot.
So you got to remember power to weight ratio. If this thing doesn't weigh very much, 41 horsepower could absolutely rip on this thing.
We are literally two men speaking different languages. You
Continue.
understand my language. You are speaking man, and I don't speak man. Dynamic linkage articulated steering makes its debut, offering precision and a signature look, and is joined by dual Akrapovic exhausts and an interestingly mounted Öhlins monoshock. The Roadster 400 is expected to arrive at dealers in 2026. So, Dame, were any of these words mean anything to you?
Yeah, I mean, thing's kind of dope. I gotta admit, I mean, it's gonna have to be really expensive for me to consider this a biggest waste of money.
Okay, so here's what I don't understand. If I had a 400cc engine in a car, that's big, right?
A 400cc engine in a car,
Yeah.
you wouldn't go anywhere.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No.
How- how-
So 1000cc is 1 liter.
Okay.
Your car probably has a 3.5 liter engine in it, would be my guess. So you've got 3,500 cc's. This has 490.
Okay, that's helpful. Anyway, how much does this moped cost?
I'm really scared you're going to tell me it's like 10 grand.
Why? Because then you'd want it, or it's
No, because I mean, that's a ton for this, but I'll say 10 grand.
10 grand?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you were so close. $450,000. Yes. Yes.
That's
$450,000.
Did they say how many they were making of this thing?
No. I mean, it's
as many as you want for $450,000.
Yeah. I mean, how many can I send you, pal?
That's so sad because that's really, I mean, the suspension stuff is really cool. The paint scheme's awesome. I mean, I could just see foot dragging around a corner in town on this, and that'd be awesome.
Well, here's the good news. It also comes with a possible 50-year scooter loan.
Awesome. I mean, it makes it affordable all of a sudden.
Dame, what is in the news during this slow news week?
After 43 days, the quiet quitting phase of the U.S. government's over. The House approved a bill to end the longest shutdown in American history. Shutdown caused long airport security lines, but happy TSA agents apparently halted key government data and temporarily stopped benefits like SNAP. But the stock market held up surprisingly well. The S&P 500 is actually up about 2% since the shutdown began. Go figure. Even so, the ripple effects could show up later. The White House says October inflation data and jobs data might never be released, which leaves a hole in the economic picture. And consumer sentiment also took a hit, and those bad vibes could carry into the holiday shopping season. Economists say we narrowly avoided something worse as well. One chief economist, I believe I saw he was from LPL, noted that if the shutdown had stretched into peak holiday travel and spending, the risk of a recession would have been much higher. That's just vague enough that he can sound right. So what happens now? Well, historically, and Pete, I'm going to have you guess on these.
Ooh.
Historically, the S&P 500 tends to bounce back after a shutdown. On average, it rises about this many percent in the first 3 months after a shutdown.
15%.
3, close.
That's what I meant. Like if you divide.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're doing, but 3% first 3 months. Keep that in mind for the next one. Almost this many percent in the next 6 months.
2%.
8%. and this many percent over a full year.
1,000%. $1.
11% over a full year. As for the Federal Reserve, markets are hoping that a return of our official data will help clarify the path forward for interest rates, but some analysts still expect 2 more rate cuts by early 2026, which could support stocks, bonds, and the shiny stuff, gold.
I say what next Fed meeting is December 15th, right?
That sounds right.
No way they're cutting.
It seems very unlikely to me. There will be a lot of arguing at that meeting, but I can't see Powell saying we're going to cut.
There's no way.
I don't see it.
What else is in the news?
A legal fight that started before the iPhone came out may finally be winding down. And I'm not talking about this last iPhone. I'm talking about the iPhone in general. Visa and MasterCard have reached a settlement with businesses that accused them, I should say, of charging unfairly high swipe fees nearly 20 years ago. Merchants today pay roughly 2 to 2.5% per credit card transaction, and an honor all cards rule forces them to accept every Visa or MasterCard if they want to accept any at all. I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Under the proposed deal, Visa and MasterCard would cut their swipe fees by a huge 0.1% for 5 years, saving businesses more than $30 billion. Merchants would also gain more flexibility to add surcharges and could choose which categories of cards to accept or reject. For consumers, that could mean lower surcharges at some small businesses, but potentially higher fees or limited acceptance for premium rewards cards, which cost more for merchants to process. That's right. You got one of those big, fancy, high annual fee cards. Potentially, merchant could say, "Sorry, no good here." Still, premium card holders spend heavily, so most businesses would think twice before refusing those cards. Settlement now goes to a judge for approval, but that same judge rejected a previous deal last year, so the agreement's not guaranteed to stick.
My first thought when I heard this was, and this is based with no knowledge, because as you know me, I know nothing. I was like, well, no one's going to accept American Express ever again. That's the first thing I thought.
Honestly, I said, well, that American Express Platinum card is not going to be great.
Yeah, everyone's going to end up with a Capital One Visa card. Yeah. What else is in the news?
Shakespeare once asked, "What's in a name?" To which the U.S. government replied, "About $2 billion. That's how much it'll cost taxpayers to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, a rebranding endorsed by President Trump executive order back in September. The tally incorporates the cost of changing signs and letterhead and identification cards and a wide variety of other items all around the world, including updating the code for all departmental websites. Changing the department's name requires an act of Congress, so it's not set in stone just yet, but setting it in stone is going to cost us a fortune."
I had not considered that.
I hadn't either.
No one cares about my opinion about the Department of War. I don't even care about my opinion for the Department of War, but I did not realize it was going to cost $2 billion. I mean, look, I think again, no one cares what I'm about to say. I think the Gulf of America thing is silly, but I don't think it costs $2 billion, you know?
Nah, it's just telling map makers to change the type on the next map they spit out.
I told you that. I saw that guy on the flight with the Gulf of America hat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is some revenue in it.
Sure.
Dang, that's all we have time for this week. Thanks for being here. Sit in, everybody. Good vibes. Good vibes are all that's in the budget. I'm Pete the Planner, and this is the Pete the Planner show. Look at that. Would you looky there?
Almost like we never quit.
You know, Spangle on the show last week. This is gonna make you laugh. Did you listen? Or you catch any of it or no? It's okay.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm not repeating myself, is why I asked, not out of any level of
this will be new to me.
Okay, great. My radio show started in 2007, and I've been saying 2009 for like 10 years. I had no idea.
How did you have that epiphany?
I didn't. He told me because he produced it.
Oh.
And that's when he was at the station. So it was based off of his resume. So I've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Gosh.
2007?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, I think I started appearing with you semi-regularly in 2018.
Yeah.
And now it's 2025-7. So I'm creeping up on 50% of your broadcasting career.
Oh. I want to find video again of the old show. I think it exists somewhere. I used to like video it with a GoPro or whatever the version of a GoPro was back then. And I had a bunch of hair and I'd wear a tie. It was so dumb. I mean, everything's still dumb, but it was real dumb.
A tie in the studio for radio.
I thought, okay, this is gonna make you laugh because I thought I was so cool. I thought I was so cool, man. I swear, I was like, yeah.
I've seen some of those early shots that you had. I mean, the Jordan picture.
What an idiot. I'm embarrassed by literally everything that has happened in my past starting a minute ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't stand by any of it.
Do you remember when we had somebody at work, we sent them that picture? I think it was the Jordan one, and
Mhm.
they printed it out and put it in a frame behind them on their desk
Yes.
during an interview or something. It was
We've got some knuckleheads here.
it was great.
All right, Dane. Well, this was fun. Next week, 3 men and a baby. No,
Mm, 3 adults and a baby.
I'm going to workshop it. I want to hear the baby on the air.
Man, maybe she could record some cute baby noises and then just play them.
The return of Kristen next week, everyone. Right here on the Pete the Planner Show. Dame, thanks for being here. Everyone else, stay getting